Hello everyone, I'm Vaishnavi J. Desai, Senior Assistant Editor at Economic Times CIO. Welcome to the session on transforming operations with AI and data. At the onset, thank you for taking time to join us as we uncover the innovations driving AI's role in securing the digital future and maximizing the value of data. In today's digital era, organizations are navigating an increasingly complex landscape of cyber threats while also striving to harness the full potential of data. The convergence of these challenges, cybersecurity and data monetization, has now brought AI to the forefront as a transformative solution. This webinar, organized in association with Google Cloud, will dive into the ways AI-driven technologies are reshaping both security operations and data monetization strategies. We will examine how organizations can leverage AI, including generative AI, to not only enhance their data products, but also extract actionable insights, thereby making data a true asset. On the cybersecurity front, we will unpack how AI can modernize the Security Operations Center, also known as SOC, turning it into a proactive and intelligent unit capable of addressing security threats with greater efficiency and scale. By moving beyond reactive measures, AI is now helping organizations anticipate and mitigate risks, securing their operations in real time. Joining me today for the session are esteemed speakers. Allow me a moment to introduce them. KL Narayanan, Head IDES Google, Jyoti Prakash, Head of Security Google, and Raghavendra Singh, Global Head Tata Consultancy Services. Welcome, gentlemen. We are so glad to have you on board.
Pleasure, ours. Thank you.
Perfect. Before we begin the session, I would like to brief the audience that kindly leave the questions you have in the chat box provided. We will address them at the end of the session. I repeat, if you have any questions, kindly leave them in the chat box provided, and we will address them at the end of the session. KL, may I request you to take the stage now and give us some more insights on the topic?
Thank you so much, Vaishnavi, for the introduction, and thanks first of all for this opportunity to bring all of us together on this wonderful platform. I always wish these are more personal in face-to-face, and that there's nothing better to meet in person and exchange a lot of ideas pre and post the discussions. But thanks for this wonderful opportunity once again on behalf of Google Cloud and of my colleague Jyoti here and Raghavendra, our customer from Tata Consultancy. Thank you so much. What I want to do is, of course, there's a very specific topic we would like to cover. We obviously want to go deeper into the discussion during the course of the next 1 hour together. But I want to take a step back and use this opportunity to showcase. I'll just go on to presenting my slides and showcase on what Google is doing with customers largely, and some of it specifically in the domain which is IT services and global capability centers. Just let me know. So before I go, I'll just step in with the video. Take a few minutes, maybe a couple of seconds to look at this. Thank you all. I hope you found that initial areas of what we're doing, what we're creating possibilities with our customers. So before I jump in further and give you a larger landscape of what AI or generative AI especially is doing, and that's an area of interest we have seen across customers, across various industries, across boundaries of geography. This is one area where people want to do more. The board members want to understand more. But before I just step back again and say, what's our mission? Google's mission has always been to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. And if you look at it, that talks about all our product areas or properties which we run. I'll get a little deeper into this as we move forward. So we have been on this business of cloud for a while. Of course, we don't call it cloud. If most of you or all of you, I would say, would be aware of some particular product of Google that highlighted here. Just to recap, we have the YouTube, we have the search, Chrome, Android, Gmail, and now we have the Google Cloud, right? Apart from Chrome. So I think these are all 8 large product areas where we have billion plus users. We run them on the cloud or the similar function, what's called cloud now, for years together in an extremely secured fashion. And my colleague Jyoti, who will be taking over this discussion with Raghavendra in the discussion forward, will talk more about how we run security and how we run this across all these businesses, extremely secured, day in and day out for our billions of customers and users worldwide. I just want to leave you a thought about how we think of doing 10x at Google. And we'll go deeper into the discussion as we go further. I just want to go to AI, which is a very interesting area of topic, and just wanted to, while some of you may be aware, this is a quick recap to say we were the first ones about a decade back to go and put our first footprint on AI in the world. The transformer as a model, the large language model, actually originated from Google. Some people call it Google is the founder of it. The concept of responsible AI came from Google. Of course, we haven't spoken much. Our products have integrated AI much earlier into even consumer products. Even in Gmail, sometimes it would give you, at the old days, it would also give you some, what could you actually give the next word when you're writing a mail or something like that. So we have always been on the AI from the very start. And over the years, we have continuously innovated on this and brought various models which are time to time relevant in addressing more use cases which are useful for the society and mankind as such, right? The latest, of course, is the Lambda in 23, but the shift happened in late 23, or I would say early 24, was the next chapter, which is what we call as a Gemini. And Gemini is the first uniquely placed, world's first natively multimodal generative AI model, which can take code, audio, text, video, image all together and make a sense of it and give you an output. Right? Of course, these models are evolving from everyone's, but this is where we are. We are ahead of the race. We bring it early. And that's primarily because we have a very unique entity within us, which I hope you have heard. It's called Google DeepMind, which has been on this research activity for many years ahead. And we'll also share some of the things, what they're doing as relevant for the audience here. So, of course, this is our mission. We accelerate every organization's ability to digitally transform its business. That's the Google Cloud's mission, and we want to share how we are trying to do this. I'll just now quickly go a little deeper into this. Now, if you look at where's the uniqueness of Google coming, the uniqueness of Google is ability to offer to our customers and partners a complete stack of the AI, not just take address only a particular part. So starting from the bottom, which is the global infrastructure, where we have AI hypercomputers, we have the GPUs and TPUs, which are extremely important because you want to run those large language models. And these have to be very price performance oriented. If you're running a model which needs extremely high compute, but it doesn't make the price parity for you, it doesn't serve the purpose for you for which you're generating. Sometimes you could be using something which is not requiring such a high compute and paying a high price. The model could run on a smaller stuff. So that gives Google has we have our own tensor processing units. We have the GPUs. Of course, we have the NVIDIA ones as well. This gives us the ability to offer our customers a wide range of hardware where you can choose what is the best for you to run your price performance. So we have the tensor processing unit. We recently introduced the TPU V5E, which is very efficient, the most efficient right now. We have, which is on the performance, which is similar TPU 5 V5P. Sorry for some acronyms there, but please do, when you talk to our teams, do ask for this information, because that's where the journey starts to understand how exactly it's just on the. Then you come on to the Gen AI models and platforms, where we have the foundation models. There are today 130 plus models which are first party available on it. There are third party models, also models like the Anthropic Claude and the Llama, for you to have a variety of models to choose from and not restrict yourself to a specific model, either it's Google or anyone else. So I think that gives our users an ability to test with any large language model you would like to use and then work on this kind of infrastructure. When you go up a little bit, here's where Google brings very specific stuff around these 5 pillars of cloud, what we call. And today we're going to discuss primarily around the 1 and the 2 in the center, which is the data cloud and security cloud. And of course, I'll have Jyoti and Raghavendra Singh take a lot of those questions, and we'll of course take it at the end, some more questions on their mind. But I'll just go to what the modern infra cloud is primarily focused on the AI hypercomputers. We can talk about the containerization of what you would like to use on this, and the complete VMs and all that I spoke about, the GPUs and the TPUs. That's where the modern infra cloud, and they're all AI infused infrastructure, which tells you what's the best price performance you can use around this. And the Gemini models are inbuilt on that. I'm coming to an interesting piece which primarily addresses this industry, what we're talking today with, and the industry I work with on a day-to-day basis, which is the IT services and the global capability centers, is the developer cloud. We, at the end of last year, which is, of course, December 2023, introduced the Gemini Code Assist, which used to be called Duet AI earlier. It's rebranded as Gemini Code Assist with a lot more features coming. And this is primarily addressed at AI infused for developers across the complete software development lifecycle, right from your document and requirement gathering all the way to coding and then testing and then running the unit tests and then coming out. I think the complete SDLC gets addressed with this. And of course, this is an evolving field as we talk to more customers. We were there with a lot of our large customers and partners last week, also visiting a lot of them with our global leadership. We understood a lot of what they're using with, what are their kind of feedback. And primary areas which we gathered was code conversion was an important thing. A lot of people wanted us to say, how can the Code Assist help convert some of the old codes to the new codes? For example, COBOL to Java, Java version 1 to version X to version Y, or Jenkins to Harness. Some of those very interesting cases came out. So that's something where we are helping them. They are using this. They're finding some great use cases. Of course, it works on code recommendations, which is primarily the use case developed community has today looked at. Interestingly, we also realized that there is a section of the developers which are 5 years and below who are much faster users of these kind of technologies than the ones probably as old as me, who are stringent and studying, saying, I don't want to change. I'm very good with what I was doing for so many years. So I think it's finding a very specific use cases at areas which are there. We give grounding as a part of it, which is very important for our customers to ask. And that across all the 5 clouds mentioned here, you'll get grounding. Grounding gives you the backend data facts of where this is particular originating and coming from, the source of that particular recommendation which is coming. That's very important for the coders to understand, is it something they would like to use, they would not like to use in the open source community and so on. Of course, we are open source supporter all the time. So that's second thing that we are doing. So I think that's another part of the cloud which I want to leave a thought. While I know data and security is what we're discussing, that's becoming the second pillar is becoming an interesting piece. I'll move on to what we're doing at the data cloud space. At the data cloud space, see, what we heard from a lot of customers is they have disparate set of data, they have disparate set of analytical tools, which of course all the organizations and our teams here who are IT services companies, but our extended friends and colleagues, or I would say partners of ours, servicing a large set of customers globally. They're manufacturing, financial services, healthcare, so on and so forth. All these end customers have built systems disparate over a period of time, and there are a lot of disparate system decisions taken at different point in time. And they have structured data, they have unstructured data, and they want to understand how can Google help. We are working with, and we have actually implemented a lot of them, where we have brought in all the structured and unstructured data into like an in-between fabric called BigQuery. I'm sure most of you would have heard of our BigQuery. And the BigQuery can take all structured and unstructured data. And the data management becomes easier because when BigQuery has inbuilt AI facilities, which is the BigQuery AI ML Ops, which helps BigQuery to help you in data tagging, data management, cleansing, and all those things, so that you also have the good quality data available for you to make the analysis. All right, we will try and address some of the questions, go more deeper. I'm just leaving a high-level thought because and not going on a specific subject, but that's something where just to share, the BQ Omni allows you to work with your data setting, and if you're already a user of an Amazon AWS S3 or an Azure Blob, it can work on both and then give you the support. So disparate systems, you are on other clouds, we can still get you the work on, give you a single view to yourself and your board members on how the data is managed, and then give an overall presentation on the Looker, which is our presentation or the analytics tool there. Right. Then we go to the security. It's a very interesting subject. Of course, this is a very, and I have my expert friend and our leader for the country, Jyoti Prakash, who will be diving deeper into this particular subject going forward. But very clearly, this has been an area of interest for the last about a month and a half. Jyoti, of course, is very busy, thankfully, for the recent things which have happened in the industry, of vulnerabilities which have come and hit a lot of customers and partners. And a lot of customers want to understand, as I spoke in the first slide, how does Google manage 8 large product firms servicing 1 billion customers every day, day in and day for so many years without security threats. I think I will leave that interesting subject with Jyoti as an expert to address your questions on that and take you through what exactly we do. And there are many things we do on this. There is complete security posture which Jyoti gets to discuss with a lot of board teams, given what's happening in the world right now. But I leave that. The final cloud is the collaboration cloud, what we call as the workspace, Google Workspace. This is an interesting piece. A lot of generative AI gets, I would say today, gets used in this because that's like the first point of touch for any of us in the world of enterprises is your emails or anything which you use as a content management of building content. And this is where so on the Gemini for Google Workspace is where we give a very rich experience of how you could use AI in drafting emails, drafting any kind of summarization. I can even take, and at the start of this call, there is obviously a notification I get that, do you want to summarize this? I take the action notes. I can take action notes without making notes. Of course, I continue to still write on the paper. It's my old habit. Sorry, I just said I'm stringent. I don't change. But I'm sure that my son is going to be probably very impressed and take it on the notes and not make these kind of hard copies. So I'll tell you, very interestingly, in the IT services where the customers are using this, the customers are using it primarily. Sales teams have to generate documents for the CEOs for business meetings. You have to pump in, and I used it myself. I was saying about my customers, but I'm saying when I myself used. If I have to turn around a document, let's say my customer Raghvendra Singh TCS is in, and we have a meeting with TCS, I don't have to worry about drafting a document which would probably take a few hours and probably I block some time in the late evening after my office hours. I am able to do it in probably about 15 minutes, maybe even lesser than that, if I can give the right kind of data which I want to point it to, and it generates a full content for me. It saves hours of work into minutes, maybe even seconds. I think that's where the world is going. I'm sure all of you are using some form or shape of this, but if you understand the spread of Google is across all of this. So just reframing that, you have the ability to control the complete infrastructure, which is Google. Or Google's, we are not depending on third party. The complete foundation models are coming from Google because the transformer model came from us. We are not sourcing any model from third party outside and then building our capabilities on top of it. We have the ability to control it. Hence, it's a completely secured way of doing it because the foundation models are separate, which operate, and then you can work within your perimeter of the enterprise in your account and do whatever enterprise data you want to take and test your LLMs with. We offer you all the first party, 130 plus first party. We offer you the third party. Just recapping all this, and you have the ability to use AI across all these things with Google Cloud. And of course, there's an invisible security layer which is encompassing all of this, which is very, very important for you. I think that's the primary question which is on the mind of every CIO, every CEO, every user about how they get secured. I'll just move on quickly from here. Some of the use cases we have seen, there are 5 main use cases. We are not saying these are limited. It's very interesting. This is a technology which is just picking up. There are so many great ideas coming. I know some of the things I'm working with Raghvendra Singh, their teams and within TCS is fantastically very out of the world. So I think some of the things I'll just summarize is create, summarize, discover, automate. And largely the use cases are currently being ideated, worked upon, POCs, actual products are coming out of this particular thing. So creating product, as I said, it's a multimodal. You can use images, you can use codes, you can use text, video, audio. So whatever you can use is getting in terms of creating content is where, and of course the mails and stuff we spoke about, that's where the first part of, as I said, the early use cases, very impactful use cases is coming there. Summarization of content, audio, code content. Interestingly, this is something we have tested with for our customers of ours, of course, on SAP ABAP. I think it's an interesting area for a lot of IT organizations because they are customers whom they service, especially on SAP ABAP. We have helped them generate codes because not all the people are SAP ABAP coders, right? So it helps for a lot of new people who are coming on your teams to understand this. There are interestingly servicing customers who are in the global world in financial services and other areas who are on the legacy codes. People don't know why these codes were actually created at that point in time. So Google Gemini Code Assist helps you to analyze those codes and give your new developers, like my son probably I was just mentioning, telling that why this was even done at that particular time. What was the intent of writing this code? What was the whole background? So I think those are some of the things that are coming out. Discover, search a document, machine, organization content. Enterprise search is becoming extremely very important. A lot of customers want it, especially in your own organization, IT services and global capability centers. There are such large teams across the world spread, so many people doing similar work. How do you bring all of that at one particular place for someone to search? For example, I have working with a couple of large GSI partners out of India who want to know what are they doing in the US, how does it get replicated in India or APAC and vice versa. And they don't have to go and rebuild the same knowledge for same customer, TCS, for example, right? All of this. I'm just giving some examples, not TCS as such. Automate, of course, there's a lot about contract information extraction. This is an interesting case. I may not be able to name the customer you're working, but this is an interesting case when the first thing we did about 7 months back with a customer in India, the CFO wanted to understand in the industry of where you are all representing, there is a set of rules you want to go and build your contracts, but when you sign contracts, they are very different from what you are envisaged as rules. The CFO had given us a task of saying how many contracts, if I take the last 10 years, are deviating from my standard policy of principle. That's an exposure I have to my management or to my board or to investors, because I had set some rules of whatever kind of conditions I would accept in an order, but there are deviations, and that's natural to stuff. So we are doing such kind of work. That work would have taken laborious amount of time. But this is now done, and we've shown the efficiencies out of it, and the efficiencies are high 80s. We're able to showcase to the teams and just bring it back to actual use cases for this. I'm giving some, of course, Converse, chat, and all. Obviously, finding very early usage. You saw in the video there are 135 languages. That's global by nature. India, we are about 10, I think 12 languages now we support. I'll shortly be sharing one case study just after this to share with you of one of the use cases in the BPO segment. And I'm assuming a lot of you who are attending today would have BPOs and customers who could be globally placed or who could be locally placed in India. If you're servicing, you have a great opportunity to build chats. In IT services, we are working with customers who have built chatbot for their own internal purposes, CIO organizations, because you have global workforce who speak different languages. They log in tickets for various things. How do you make that automated and easier for employees to reach? Right. So just giving you some examples, leaving some, I'm sure you're all experts. You've done a lot of things, but there are a lot of things we're working and proving our efficiencies better across the stack, which we just did. So, we want to be a trusted partner in AI. We want to be a genuine partner working with you, solving your actual problems, building business cases. Our teams work with you in every domain you work to work and see what is the way the business case looks rich for you to present it to your board, to go ahead and implement those transformational projects which you have been envisaging, right? So I think give us an opportunity to do that. And with Vertex, Gemini, of course, there are other technologies which I haven't spoken to. I'm just considering some of the large referenceable case studies. These are not the only ones. They're limited. There are many referenceable. We just limited a few. I'll just talk about the two which are very closer to our, or 2-3 in the country, which is Airtel. You can see we signed a large MOU with Airtel where they are building in partnership with us the generative AI model to go to customers in the country, right? And ONDC, of course, where Google is a big partner in the overall ONDC setup in the country. We're working with the ONDC team on this, and of course, Misho is one of our very flagship digital native customer. We are working and doing a lot of work with them on AI with across all those 4-5 AI world. This is the one first use case I wanted to bring cases closer to home. So this is on the Federal Bank, which is a bank down in south of India. I'm sure most of you know about it. Here is where we use the generative AI personal assistant called Freddy. Freddy, I know why, because this had a very unique stuff. This is based in Kerala. When I say languages, don't take languages just for the sake of, I'm a Tamilian, I speak Tamil, but my Tamil could be very different from a Tamilian sitting in Chennai, just to be very candid. I know, right? This had the dialect and stuff. So there were people in the Gulf who were actually reaching out. They had people back home, so they were putting money in this. So it had a very specific way of the English and the Malayalam mix, just to let you know. So that's the level of how the accuracy, the chatbot, the personal assistant could go. And we are happy to share that it is, of course, there are some numbers published by the customer, 50% saving in their customer care cost already. They're envisaging that on the track to do that. There's 98% efficiencies. I think they have done about 1.4 million queries a year have been taken by this personal assistant, just to give you what are the kind of transformational stuff people are doing for their customers. And this obviously is moving a lot of customers who would like to bank with Federal Bank. I'll go to the next one, which is Apollo. Sorry, the screen has not changed. Sorry for this. This is suddenly some. Give me a moment. Sorry for that. Am I audible? Just wanted to check because the screen hasn't not changed.
You are audible.
Thank you so much. I'm just sorry for this glitch. I sincerely apologize to all of you for this unexpected glitches.
No worries, Kale. We've all been there. Happens.
I know. That's why technologists are there. It should come up, hopefully.
Yes.
Is it coming up?
Not yet. We're waiting.
I can see it's presenting here.
Yes, now we can see it. You need to put it in the presentation mode and we'll be good to go.
I've just done that. There is some lag for some reason.
Understood.
Sorry, in the meantime, it comes into the slideshow. Sorry, I'll just take this. Sorry for this. I think this is the last slide. So Apollo 24/7 is where we have used Gemini models. It helps doctors to do an automated patient records and patient health management. It has done through 1.3 trillion parameters. It can do clinical texting. It can recommend. It can answer medical queries. And that's the kind of work which transformationally these organizations have done on Google with Gen AI. I'm just leaving some of these use cases. I will now hand it over back to Vaishnavi and take it forward from here. Really, thank you again, once again, and look forward to interacting with you, the part of the balance part of the discussion. Back to you, Vaishnavi.
Thank you, Kale. Thank you for the insights you shared. And it was really interesting to see the various aspects covered, be data security, AI, Gen AI, and you briefed us with a case study as well, and I appreciate that. So thank you for taking time out to collect these insights and present it to us. And now we move to the panel discussion with Jyoti Prakash and Raghavendra Singh. We will talk about data monetization, we'll talk about data products, we'll talk about SOC modernization and the security posture. So Jyoti, Raghavendra, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Perfect. So Jyoti, my first question is to you. When it comes to AI in data monetization, how are organizations now leveraging or unpacking AI and Gen AI to unlock new data monetization opportunities? And what data AI-driven technologies can help transform this unstructured data into valuable monetizable assets?
Thanks, Vaishnavi. See, data monetization is very, I would say a big topic as on today. It's not that customer doesn't have those kind of data. Let's assume a large customer has been serving, say, hundreds of customers, and they have been collecting a lot of those data in terms of the interactions that they are doing with their customers on a daily basis. Imagine that an enterprise has collected 10 years of data based on the business that they have been doing for, say, hundreds of customers. Now, the challenge is how to pull out those meaningful information and an insight so that you can go back to the same customer for an upsell or cross-sell opportunity. You can go back to the same customer for a better customer experience so that the retention will be there. You can also go back to the customer and start launching new product lines. So can this data be made more meaningful? The challenge is most of the data that you collect from these interactions are very unstructured, as you correctly said. And the source will be in the form of text, in terms of audios, in terms of videos. So there are certain parameters which are very important to understand. Imagine tens of years of data that you have collected from hundreds of customers. If you manually want to dig into that and try to identify a meaningful information, it's very difficult to pull out that. Manually, it's very taxing. Since the compute is limited, it's not going to give you right information at the right time. And by the time you're able to collect something meaningful, the whole landscape will change. So I think AI is in a very strong position to solve all those problems. As we say, data is a new oil, but even before using an oil, it has to go through a refinery. So I think AI becomes that refinery to the data that we are talking about. So a couple of use cases, or I would say a couple of problem areas that AI could solve is in terms of data extraction and data classification. So imagine petabytes of data that you have collected. Can AI be smart enough and capable enough to give you something meaningful that can be digged out in no time? Can it help you in terms of classifying in a predefined category so that you understand your customer better in terms of their pattern, in terms of behavior, so that you'll be in a much better position to manage them and analyze the whole data that you have collected? Second important piece is, can you connect those data points that you have collected using AI to the entities? Because when you have so much of a data, whether that data has been generated from an organization or from an individual, or maybe, is there is some connectivity between the location as well, is there is some connectivity between age, is there is some connectivity between gender. These are the information which are going to help you in terms of categorizing the customer and forming a group, so that when you build certain business use cases, you'll be in a much better position to go back to those specific set of customers and give them some meaningful information which could lead to certain conversation which is going to give you help you generate some business. Third component would be, you already have the data, you know the entity, but what about the sentiments? Data doesn't give you the sentiments of the end user. So if you plug in the sentiments of these users, pulling out logs from the social media, and it will give you much better understanding of how your brand is selling and what is the kind of investment you are going to do. For an example, say some scam has happened in recent time, or some incident has happened, which is going to impact your line of business. So whatever business planning that you have done earlier, that is not going to give you the right outcome. So the social media data that you have collected, if you're connecting that with your existing data, that is going to give you the understanding of the pulse and the sentiment of your customer. So AI is going to play a very, very important role on that. And the fourth and the most important piece is the predictive analysis, right? Based on the historical data that you have collected, and you run your AI intelligence on top of it, and with the new data that is coming in, I think AI has the capability to bridge that gap and connect the dots. So you will be able to, first of all, analyze the pattern and the behavior of your customer over the past couple of years, run those models to also give you something which is futuristic. So I think these are the components which, if you put together, is going to give you a lot of meaningful information that can be act upon, and AI brings a lot of speed to that. So as we move forward, the data explosion is going to happen. You are going to see more data coming in and out, and TCS is the best company to see and tell you and comment you on that. The kind of logs, the kind of data that they collect from the multiple customers and their customers as well, unless you have a very well oiled smart AI tool, this the whole bringing those meaningful insight in those conversations will be very, very, very difficult.
Noted. Noted. Raghavendra, do you have anything to add on how you can transform the unstructured data into valuable monetizable assets?
Absolutely. Thank you, Vaishnavi. Hello, everyone. I think JP has pretty much covered everything. Bit of addition, right? See, as an individual, we all have dreamed of seeing the future, right? That the predictive analysis, and that's what I'll expand a little bit what Jyoti has ended with. Now, I was supposed to travel to Kerala last week, and 2 hours back, one of the leading airline, I got a message, unscheduled maintenance. We have to change the aircraft, blah, blah, all the delay, everything happened. Now, I started, while waiting at airport, I started digging in, and I started thinking, why unscheduled maintenance? There is so much investment. There are a lot of articles Google has on their webpage. They are doing for industrial maintenance, preventive maintenance, predictive maintenance, and all of that. There are viewpoints and some IPs TCS has built across that. Then is there an opportunity, unexplored opportunity, where all the historic data can come together and do and predictive maintenance, right, for better fleet management, for better operation, right, for better maintenance of entire flight operations. Right? You take a little bit step back and you look at the supply chain for manufacturing, for that matter, for retail. The impact COVID has caused, the impact this ongoing war has caused for some of the organization, whether we talk about chip, whether we talk about some of the manufacturing materials moving across the globe. I think AI has potential to play a huge role. It already has a data, and there is an analytics layer. The whole data and analytics layer is already very, very mature and has been built by Google probably a decade back. They have been known for, they have been brand ambassador for entire data and analytics piece. Whole machine learning and AI coming together, it's solving these very pertinent challenges for all the modern enterprises, whether it's B2B, whether it's B2C, for all of us. And at the same time, it's a tremendous opportunity for us to get those insights and service our customer better.
I understand your point. And on in the same vein, so let's talk about actually creating the data products and then how you prepare for data monetization. Jyoti, if I may ask you, how can AI help businesses create these data products that are more personalized?
See, AI works on a predictive model basis, right? And which can also connect dots with the real-time personalization. What does it mean? Predictive model can do an analysis based on the historical data that you have, and it also connects the dot with the real-time data that gets into your AI platform, and that's a connection that gets established. It will give you much better understanding in terms of what is the future requirement is going to be from consumer perspective. And also, as I mentioned earlier, that the real-time data need to be punched into your AI platform on regular basis, because that will sense the reality what is happening on ground. As I said, any historical data can give you some learning, but the real-time data will also give you a lot of predictivity that can be built on top of it. And based on that, you'll be in a much better position to build something meaningful for your customer. And that will help you kind of build a product which is going to make sense to your customers as well. Second, the way AI platform process the natural language, I think it understands the sense and the pulse of the customer. So these are very important components. One is your predictive model doesn't go well unless it is attached to the real-time data collection. And if you're not attaching it with the sense of the customer in the current market, you'll never be able to produce something which is meaningful. So I think at the end of the day, these all models are based to make sure that you understand your customer well, so that you can sense the opportunity in the right way. That will help you build a product which is meaningful. See, the biggest challenge that we have in terms of building any product or to design any product is to find the right fitment. What customer is looking out for? Is it the right time for this product to get launched? Are we going to see that great impact the way the moment we launch this product, or are we really going and launching this well in advance? So there are a lot of questions which are kind of which comes as a variable component in a product design or product launch. I think these are all models which comes as a part of AI, basically because you have been ingesting a lot of data in that platform, and your prediction will be, the probability is very high that you'll go right.
Noted. Now, Raghvendra, when it comes to creating data products, you heard what Jyoti said. Taking the discussion forward, what foundational steps should organization take to prepare their data for successful monetization? What happens to the role of data governance or quality or infrastructure?
Absolutely, Vaishnavi. So first of all, I think KL briefly touched about it, right? See, it's mostly revolves around the type and quality of data you have, the cleansing of data, the whole sanitization aspect, what data you use, whole tagging, classification, identification aspect. So that is the base, that is the foundation. Now coming to, do you want to boil the ocean? Do you have the kind of skill set you need, or you like to rely on someone like Google and their infrastructure and their product and service providers like us to do the magic for you, and you like to focus on the core business, identify the use cases which are important for you? Let's take example of banking, right? Across the globe, the kind of money the banks are losing on frauds, the money laundering, and then those personal issues, there are a lot of challenges still. Last so many decades in India, you see the money laundering and fraud is one of the major issues, and I should not even talk about it. Now, the whole foundation models, right, rather than building everything at one go or trying to scratch the surface, I think there are models available, very very mature models which are tested, proven, customized, and then they needs to be used basis the use cases. So simply to summarize, I think the quality of the data, and then making sure you start using the right foundation model, identify the product, and get the right support, the right level of skill set to execute those use cases. And as Jyoti mentioned, and I love the point, right, the success rate is going to be really really high, because there is a lot of power eventually you have. And then what transformation has brought in, you have immense power with the cloud. You are not going to do a lot of capital investments. It's about you finding right partner and start exploring those use cases and products you like to build.
Absolutely. In agreement with you. Finding the right partner and good collaboration is the key in this case. Now, when it comes to security operation centers and modernization of it, Raghavendra, what are the key challenges organizations face when modernizing their SOC with AI? And how can they ensure two things, adaptability and scalability?
Yeah, yeah. Very good question. Thank you, Vaishnavi. Very close to my heart. So, see, many of us today here on call, right? We have our own petabytes of data, right? And then our customers' petabyte of data, because we manage hundreds of security operation centers for our customer.
Mm.
So, see, we have traveled a way forward, right? See, we started where we used to call it SIEM, so security information and event management. What you are going to do with that information and event was for sure unknown. Right? Now we are in the phase of detection and response. At least we know that we need to detect something and respond to that. That is the actual purpose of the whole journey of last 2 decades we have traversed so far. Now, there are three critical aspects, Vaishnavi, where we feel the whole AI can definitely help. The one is talent, the kind of talent scarcity we have, the talent required to do advanced level of security operation center activities. I think with right level of training, the AI can really be helpful there. Second is technology, the advanced level of technology which is required to help and facilitate, because you need a retention, you need real-time data to process again. You do not need to do a lot of engineering on your own by building those connectors, use cases, threat hunting. You need a lot of power in terms of real-time search, analytics, AI, and that base technology which can empower you to bring that. And last one is technique, obviously, about your processes, how much you have appetite to automate all of it. So AI, at least we believe, can bring the next level elevation across talent, across technology and techniques, the internal organizational process, and can bring everything together for good.
Noted. Jyoti, do you have any thoughts on this? How to
Yeah,
ensure adaptability and scalability?
just to add a couple of points. I've been, in this space all my life, especially when you talk about security operations center. And in spite of we keep on saying that India is still a developing nation, especially in security operations center, I think this is the third phase that most of the customers will be seeing. What does it mean? It means they are going for the third refresh of their security operations center.
Mm.
Now, what has changed in the last 15 years? Is the problem same what they were facing 15 years back? The answer is yes. Are they still having a problem in terms of making sure that the different components of SOC should be talking to each other seamlessly? The answer is yes. The problem is the same. Why, in spite of so much of an investment, the problem has not been solved? I think the whole dynamics, the way business used to happen earlier, and now it has changed. The tool which has been predominantly built to run on-prem, hosted in a customer data center, and then kind of bring all the log sources and give you kind of a, just capability to identify a needle in a haystack, that has gone out of the roof. Earlier, a customer who was ingesting 1 TB of a log on daily basis, now they are ingesting at least 50 TB of a logs on daily basis. See, imagine the growth of data that has happened. And then you have a multiple, hybrid environment, and the log sources are different. A lot of things are on cloud, a lot of things are on-prem. And it becomes a Herculean task, first of all, to bring all those logs to one central unified location and then make it meaningful and then make it more content driven and intelligent enough to give you rightful information, so that if there is a malicious activity that is happening, you should be in a much better position and faster to detect and then prevent. So the whole complexities has just added up. Now, I would like to break down into three pieces. One, how you can bring efficiency around your operational operational uh, processing that you have in terms of managing your SOC. That is one. Second could be how you can build an additional layer of intelligence by building enough content so that, if there is a vulnerability available in your instance, you need to have right information to identify so that you could fix it. What we say that what you don't see, what it means you are not monitoring it. And if you're not seeing it, you can't detect it. And if you can't detect it, you can't prevent it. It's very simple. It's an absolute cycle. And the third and most important piece is how you can bring an automation from day one. That's where AI is going to play a majority, a very, very important role.
Okay.
So operational excellence can be bring in by, baking in your core capabilities at the time when you start your SOC journey. So that's the first phase of your transformation of your SOC. Second is bringing a lot of intelligence, a lot of threat intel, so that you need to be aware that intelligence is there. If some vulnerability is there in your industry, in your product, and if some breach is happening or a potential breach should happen, you should be in a right position to correlate that, connect the dots, and take action then and there. And third piece is very much connected when I talk about automation on AI. It's very much connected with the skills that we are talking about. See, skills is not that easy in security. It's not that you put a bunch of people in a training room, train them for 6 months, and they will be good enough to secure your environment. It doesn't happen. You'll have to invest on training, but the experience is what is going to play a majority of the role. Even when we talk about modeling of our SOAR environment, even the platform takes longer time to learn and trigger with the right action. Otherwise, you will see a lot of false positive.
Correct.
So, can you remove the L1 resource through AI? The answer is yes. Can you reduce a load of training your resources by making it more simplified when a natural language query can run without getting into a detail of training a specific language? I think those are the small portions, as I said, which will bring a lot of transformation in the whole experience of SOC.
Noted. Now let's move on to the proactive and reactive approach of security, and which is my favorite topic as well. Raghavendra, what role does predictive analytics and AI-driven automation play in identifying and neutralizing threats before they even emerge and materialize? And how can AI enable better insights, which can then be used to feed the training engine or the training data?
Yeah. So Vaishnavi, let's understand what are the major threats we are facing today. So when we talk about the whole transformation journey, cloud, so without a doubt, misconfiguration, the self-inflicted errors, which is very crucial, the one of the biggest one. Phishing always has been the major issue for us. Insider risk, again, always has been a big issue for us, right?
Classic
So,
issue.
classic issue, right? So you prioritize the self-inflicted problem, the insider risk, the phishing, which is again training issue. Now let's start thinking. Is there a solution? Is there something which can give me real visibility and also help me remediate and get the right level of recommendation out of it? The answer is absolutely, absolutely. There are technologies now. The challenge used to be how to bring everything together. Can the same solution do the misconfiguration check, the whole discovery and visibility aspect can fix it? Can it move a step further, help me with the recommendation step, and can it help me fix it, the whole automation remediation aspect of it, to complete the cycle? So monitoring, detection, response, remediation, the whole aspect, and then obviously the fixing, the whole postmortem aspect of it. And that is where we feel AI can obviously help fix this entire cycle. So to improve detection coverage, to be more predictable, more proactive in terms of 0-day vulnerabilities, and bring more of an zero trust type of security, where we can enable the use cases based, we can reduce our threat surface to ensure there is an uh, risky users within insiders, we can highlight user behavioral pattern and all of that, right? Even for phishing and data breaches and all of that. So these are some prominent use cases we feel, and AI is helping, and AI can help further to be more proactive.
Noted. Jyoti, I would like to hear your thoughts on it. But along the same lines, if you could also talk about how you help your customers strengthen their security posture as well.
Yeah. I think just to add on what Raghavan said, I think I've got 2 points to make. I think the challenge is there also with the data silos and the data volume. Why I'm
Absolutely.
saying, data silos? Because most of the security operations center doesn't manage their cloud security because it creates a lot of data, it creates a lot of noise.
Mm,
Now imagine your critical workloads are on cloud and your security operations center doesn't take those noise from cloud. So
mm,
there's a missing link between those. I think somewhere what we are seeing that the risk management or a cloud security has to converge with your security operations center, which is very, very critical piece.
mm,
And the second point is there has to be some uniformity that you need to maintain. It cannot happen that on cloud security you are running something else and your security posture is not talking to is not in line with the security operations center that you have. I think these are the two things which we are seeing is at the verge of convergence, and I'm sure as we move forward, we'll see that the same conversation get extended to cloud security as well.
mm, mm,
Now, on coming back to your second question, how Google is helping its customer. I think first of all, the biggest challenge and the complication that we spoke about is the data explosion and the data volume. Now we are hyperscaler at the end of the day.
mm,
Our business runs on giving compute and infra services to customer. So
mm,
capacity is not a problem. So it doesn't matter how much logs, how much data any of our customers wants to push into our infrastructure.
mm,
We can always consume that. The second thing is the learning that we have from our Google search engine, which is one of the fastest in terms of serving when you run a query. The same capability we have kind of incorporated in a security operations center platform. So imagine you can push all the data which is large in volume, but when you start to run your query, it will give you the response with the same speed. And I don't have to say, everybody uses Google search. So same experience you are going to go and see when you are using Google Security Operations Center, the platform that we have. Second thing is in terms of the intelligence we bring in, and we acquired a company named Mandiant, which is a very prominent name when it comes to consulting for cybersecurity, running giving intelligence to the customer, running vulnerability assessment, running red teaming and all. So that capability is there. So the intel that we gather from Mandiant and the threat hunting capability that we have bundled with the platform, that's a killing composition. So imagine operational issues and the unification of platform we have done with our Google engine and with the intelligence that we have brought in from threat intel perspective is from Mandiant. So it becomes a very great proposition for any customer. And the third missing piece, which I said that the convergence of cloud security and Sec Operation Center. We have a product called Security Command Center, which kind of an encapsulation on the multi-cloud environment. So that convergence, we are as on today also we are ready. So this becomes a one single unified solution for a customer to first of all have a deeper visibility of their security status, give them a much better view of their overall security posture. It gives a much better understanding and visibility to monitor and give a meaningful insight. And when any customer wants to run a query, they can run using our Gemini AI, which is embedded in everything that I spoke about. And it doesn't need a full-fledged training. You can just use the natural language processing, you can run the query and you can get the result. So we have tried to kind of simplify this whole complex environment, and that's the reason we are seeing the customer adoption is amazing for the last couple of months in our space.
noted. Noted, Jyoti. Thank you for sharing that info. Raghavendra, when we talk about the future of SOC with AI, how do you envision SOCs evolving in the next 5 to 10 years with the integration of AI? And once you answer this question, I have another interesting question to ask you.
See, evolution, JP very clearly articulated. Right? There is a lot to cover still in terms of whole efficiency aspect of, right? What SIM, what SOC was meant to do. The effectively preventive, be a detective and response solution. Now, as an security professionals, we have very good mindset to continuously evolve, and we have done that. We used to build those SIMs in on-premise, which will take to buy the servers and do the implementation for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. Right? Now there is a one-click enablement of Google SecOps type of technologies, out of the box connectors. One click you can connect. There are out of the box rules. So we have reduced that cycle. We have anyways evolved, and we have elevated our talent matrix. Right? So AI is going to help us further elevate the kind of talent matrix we need and continuously help us evolve. See, we have to understand the kind of power we have today. Our adversaries also are getting AI trained, AI enabled. Right? So
Absolutely.
yeah. So that is not going to stop. We continuously have to learn. We continuously have to evolve ourselves to make sure an AI is going to help us. AI can help us with scale, with more power, with being more accurate by reducing false positive and making more sense of that data we have, and uh, bringing everything together, that the solutions JP just mentioned, the Google SecOps, SCCE, the whole threat intelligence. So bridging the gap between that multi-cloud, hybrid cloud technologies along with your centralized security operation. So we are solving governance, visibility, compliance management, reducing threat surface, all of it by leveraging AI. So that's the vision. Continuous evolution of talent, and same guys are doing L3, L4 tasks, being more better threat hunters for us, and a lot of L1, L2s getting automated in future.
In the same vein, I would like to know your thoughts on with such integration of AI, will human analysts also take on more strategic roles as AI handles more routine tasks for them?
So for me,
First, you can go, then I'll ask you.
okay.
I want you to draw the first blood, then I will go to Jyoti.
100%. See, we, and I am seeing it already in our organization, the kind of partnership we have built with Google. I, in fact, get a lot of emails from these partners here on call that, okay, let's do this training, these certifications. A lot of assets has already been built. So everybody is trying to make sure that we learn, we evolve, we start using AI as our assistants. That's the actual word, so that we can start moving. So yes, security professional will be playing more strategic role. They will be using AI for better. They will be making sure that we are ready to get across AI enabled attack, which is going to be the next level. So yes, absolutely, strategic roles, more strategic, more tactical roles, less operational, is going to be the future, and we should be eyeing for that. Yeah.
Perfect. Jyoti, how do you envision SOCs evolving in the next 5 to 10 years with integration of AI? And what's your take on human analysts taking on more strategic roles?
So let me give you a very, very short example first. When we go to many of the offices, we see a doorman opening a door for us, right? And then we go to a few of the malls and we see an automated door opener, right? What does it mean? Are we enjoying when somebody opening doors for us? The answer is no. The person who is opening a door, is he enjoying it? He's also not enjoying it, right? So is he meant to do some intelligent work? Obviously, yes.
Probably.
I think AI can bring in that piece. I think that's the only difference. When we say that is AI is going to take away your jobs, the answer is yes. But whose job? The jobs which are meant to be done by machine. But to bring that intelligence and make that machine work to do that work, that's where human interaction, human efficiency comes in. So I think people are meant to do more intelligent work. So though they need training, they need to evolve as an individual, not to just do the same job which is mundane and just keep clicking. It doesn't take you anywhere. I think AI will do, first of all, help you do all those mundane job which is not going to add value to you as an individual. Second, AI is going to solve a bigger problem which humans are not meant to solve. It's not possible for you to read a book of say 2000 page in a day. It's just not possible. Can it ease out and give you a summary so that you could have a much more meaningful, intelligent understanding of that book? I think AI has got a lot of role to play, but rather than fearing AI that is going to take a job away, I think I would add that AI is going to make our life easier. It's going to bring more efficiency, is going to bring more efficiency and accuracy in the work that we do. And also it's going to give you a lot of predictive model, which is going to help you make better decisions. I think I will stop at that point. I think that is the kind of a summary I would say, rather than getting into those exact technical details. I think we have kind of covered that in this conversation.
Noted. Jyoti, Raghavendra, we covered a whole host of topics, which is AI and data monetization, AI creating products. Raghavendra also addressed on how to prep for data monetization, challenges in SOC modernization, proactive versus reactive security, which is my favorite topic. You also spoke, Jyoti, about strengthening the security posture, and then we spoke about future of SOC with AI and how it is an opportunity for everyone to upskill and move on to something that gives an added layer of intelligence, which then helps you say that, oh yes, I have made an impact to the company that I work in. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for sharing your insights. Now, I would like all three of you to have any closing remarks. If you do, or if I missed out on asking something and you want to talk about, this would be the right opportunity to go. Jyoti, let's begin with you. If there are any
Yes.
closing remarks.
I think uh, for me is, I think when we talk about security, let's take a holistic view rather than a silo approach. I think we have an experience where we can say that the silo approach has not worked, and it's not going to work as we move forward. Secondly, let's be very positive about AI. It's going to solve a lot of bigger problems that we didn't manage to solve earlier. And if we use it in a right way, not only we solve a bigger problem, but also we are going to make some impact in the life of a lot of individuals. And people are meant to do much more intelligent work. So this will give us an opportunity to just elevate in our life also. We have been talking about transformational journey for technologies and organization. I think AI can also transform our life in many ways.
Absolutely. KL?
I think I'll take cue from that example or that comment from Jyoti. Um, I'll just share an example from Google DeepMind, and that's something which is how the AI is impacting. So Google DeepMind, as I spoke, is the research arm of Google, a part of the Alphabet actually.
Uh-huh.
They have done research on the protein molecules and the proteins and the DNA and RNA, right? And how these proteins, how these molecules work together. Now, just to give you some statistical numbers, a PhD student takes about 5 years to read one protein molecule structure like this, is what they say. There are 200 million protein structures to be read. That translates to 1 billion years of research work, which AI does in few months. That's Google DeepMind today. What it is doing is it's accelerating drug discovery using these models. Now, this is exactly what I would say we all faced about 2 years back is the situation at the COVID, right? How the drug discoveries became really important to address a calamity like that, right? Had this been taken the same time which it used to take earlier, I'm sure the world would have been a very different place today. Fortunately, so that's exactly how these technologies are helping. As Jyoti said, some of the old things will go away in terms of mundane jobs will go, but there are other skill sets, and human mind is the most powerful thing. Any machinery, we are only building it. So there's a limit is unknown to us. So I think that's where I will leave it to think beyond what is not known right now.
Such a superb example. Fantastic. Thank you so much, KL. Raghavendra?
First of all, thank you so much, Vaishnavi, KL, JP, and everyone on call. I think key takeaways, please learn, train yourself, and then leverage product and partners. Right? Don't try to boil the ocean. Don't go and start building your own LLMs. Probably some of you may have that kind of data scientist and talent, but the kind of time we need, time to market is very, very crucial at this stage. So do leverage the ecosystem available to you and train yourself. And I think this is the great time, great opportunity. Another wave of transformation after cloud. That's how I see. It's going to be all good. Yeah. Thank you.
Convert your unstructured skill into assets.
Yes.
Well, that is brilliant. AI for security, AI in security, and how finally it can be used to structure unstructured data into valuable and monetizable assets. Gentlemen, with this, we come to the end of the discussion. I would like to thank KL, Jyoti, and Raghavendra for taking time out of our busy schedules and for contributing to the session and providing all the insights that you could. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure the audience also has learned a lot. I would like to thank the audience for taking time out of your schedule and for being around for the session and help us unpack together the transformation that goes about with AI in security. And for the Google Cloud and Economic Times team for facilitating this session. Thank you so much. It was lovely having you here. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you. Thanks.